And welcome back to the Market Wolf. I am the Market Wolf, where I give you the best bear case, the best bull case, and my opinion. And let's start out with Apple. It dropped and it tried to hang on to that yellow fib line like I talked about last time. And so, it tried, it finally pulled away. And here's that beginning of a W here. Just like I told you, we have to watch and see if it was going to try to ride this fib line up on the W. And so we got that drop today, which is kind of what I was hoping for. I told you about that last time because, of course, I am personally playing the downside of this, right? And so if you haven't liked, you haven't subscribed, you haven't shared yet, please do those things. And if you've been a long-time subscriber, I appreciate it when you hit that like button because it helps the algorithms and it helps me get people into the channel. I would certainly appreciate it if you would share right now. I just don't have time right now to share my content out to all of social media. But my Webull people, I'm always talking to you. I give you updates throughout the day when I see the market moving and doing things perhaps we did or did not anticipate. And I'm trying to be there step by step for everybody. So hit that subscribe button, share this with your friends, become a part of the Wolf Pack. That said, let's take a look at the S&P 500 and let's start at the weekly because that's where we are. Okay? Essentially, what I want you to look at here is that we are really, remember, first 2 days here, we were green. We were kind of hanging out up here in this area, kind of like, oh yeah, these two candles kind of put us in this indecisive area. Look how far we have fallen just before Friday. Look at the momentum that is against us. We still have one more day here to go. Now, could we get a decrease in volume? Again, exiting volume, could this be the end of it? Could we finally be finding a bottom? It's possible, maybe, but we're going to have to check and see. We'll check the 30-minute. I want to walk you through the 30-minute really quick here because I want to show you how this case played out that I talked about yesterday. Now, calling these accumulation zones, and that's essentially what I called for, very difficult to call it point to point, but I essentially called it point to point. You can see we gapped down because of the futures yesterday, and then we had a bounce up. Remember, I called for that pedestrian bounce. We got it, and then I've called for us to, we haven't finished playing this out. I've called for us to hit 385.09 down here because we need to put in a double bottom. We need to put in a double bottom. I'll show you why. Here's the first bottom, okay? We need to put in that second bottom. If we go up on volume here and we start to build structure and we start to begin to play out this bull case that I've illustrated for you here to a degree, we'll go over that later, then, if we don't double bottom, we got to come back and touch it sometime. So we're coming down. I believe the market needs the confidence if we are going to have a true bounce, if we're going to see a rip your face off bear market bounce at some point, we've got to double bottom at 385.09 so the market knows, yep, we back tested that. Yes, we're good. Let's roll. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. That's something to watch for. You can see that essentially the case that played out was basically in between my case and the bear case, and it pretty much has done exactly what I anticipated. All we're waiting for is that drop. Now, do we have to get it tomorrow? No. Let's go over the bear case. Let's go over the bull case right now. And the first thing I want to talk about before that is the futures. This is something we have to start doing. Now, this could change. You need to check this yourself. Although I don't care for CNN, I do use them for this, CNN Business. And I look up the futures. It's a good place to just get a quick idea of what's happening. The Dow futures are up 0.41% right now. The S&P 500 is up 0.49% right now. Let me update that and make absolutely certain that's where we're going with this, okay? Yes, and the NASDAQ futures are up 0.73% right now. So your implied open is plus 87.24. So that's what we're looking at right now for open. Does that imply a gap up? No, not necessarily. It depends. Futures can change during the night. I saw it twice last night. It looked abysmal. It looked good. It looked abysmal. So we were just chopping back and forth in this bear market, even after hours. So it's something to pay attention to, something to keep in mind. Now, assuming that did play out, let's talk about the bull case first. Let's say we don't go down here and touch 385.09. Okay, let's say that doesn't happen. Where could we go? Well, let's first take a look at what we have. We're not overbought. We're not oversold on the 30-minute. We have a lot of exiting volume. The volume that was coming in today was more garbage. Okay, let's not get faked out by that again. Even though, we kind of went up, came down, basically ended essentially almost even on the day, really down, truly just down. We tried to come back, right? So not a lot going on here, looking very weak, okay, so far. I mean, that's already not good for the bull case. But it's hard to make the bull case on the charts. I'll tell you that right now. Let's go to the 4-hour on the S&P 500 just to see if there's anything there that we can look at. We'll look at the 2-hour too, but then I want to take you over to the DXY. Okay, so, no, not looking super bullish. On the 4-hour yesterday, we had a lot of just exiting volume. On the 4-hour today, we had a little bit of incoming volume, but mostly exiting volume, okay? And we saw the daily and the weekly. It's not telling a good story. I think I brought you to the daily. Maybe I just brought you to the weekly, but I want you to take a look at the daily too, right? We're not overbought, not oversold on the 4-hour. We go to the daily, we are underbought, right? We are still underbought on the daily, but we still have room to go down on the daily. You have to keep that in mind. And so, while on the daily, we've got this green candle, on the weekly, it's not looking so great. And on the daily, it looks like we might be getting an uptick again in the momentum to the downside. So we got to keep that in mind as well. The week is not over. I know, everybody thinks Friday is bounce day, but remember, last Friday, I called it last Friday too. It wasn't bounce day. It was like we went down day. Okay? That doesn't mean it's going to happen this Friday, but it's something we have to keep in mind. Just because it's Friday doesn't mean things are going to go swimmingly. So let's go now to... I can tell you right now, all the EMA lines there's no bull case on any of the EMA lines right now. I promise you that. There might be, go to the 15-minute, go to the 10-minute. You might be able to find a buy-in spot on the 5-day moving average and, check momentum on the MACD and see what's going on. And then maybe you find a spot that you want to get in. I wouldn't. It's completely weak right now. There's no way I'd buy in right now. So, you're either, you might be catching a knife for all you know, or the beginning of a knife. I do want to take a look at DXY for the bull case, though. We do need to look at the dollar. And this is the bull case for the S&P 500. If you are a bull on the S&P 500, you need to be watching the DXY, or a bull just on any of the stocks that are in the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ. This is important. Also, this goes with crypto, too. Remember, there's an inverse relationship. And we had this big drop down. That's a lot of dollars exiting the DXY. Right now, we've got kind of this hook going on and kind of a bearish pennant here on the end of it right now. And remember, the DXY is always moving. This followed down our fib line beautifully, so we know we've traced this out just right. We know everything's running good. I'll put this in the description box as well. I got all my lines fixed for you and everything. So same situation here. The only thing I changed from last episode with this is on the DXY. I went ahead, these green support lines. Remember, I'm typically using white now, but I put these green ones here to show where we absolutely have to hold this handle if we want to bounce up and the market is going to get wrecked. Because remember, if we complete this handle and we get bullish off this handle that's on this giant cup. So here's the handle on this giant cup. If we get bullish and we shoot up, right, then that means the market tanks, and that's that inverse relationship I'm talking about. So, if you want the market to do well, this is good for you. This is good for you, right? You want to see the DXY not have this bounce. You want to see it keep going down. This bounce today is why the market started to go down again today. But this doesn't have to happen, right? I mean, this could put in a reversal at any point and continue its way down, right? It could come up some more and then put in a reversal and continue its way down. It could put in a W reversal and start to go higher, but then come down. All right, so, this handle is not finished playing out. It's a rather large handle. We've been playing this for days and days and days and days now. So it's something to keep an eye on because, you could have a rip your face off move in crypto if this completely breaks down here to the downside, or you might lose everything if it breaks up. In fact, the way things are looking right now, with Bitcoin, from what I understand, and this is not financial advice, but it looks like there's the potential, let me be clear on that, a small potential for a bounce right now. and not massive, just up to some levels we've been at on this drop. Okay, so it's something to keep in mind, because if that's the case, we know this exiting dollar is going to be coming down more. People are going to be exiting the dollar. That means that we should see a bounce on the S&P 500 at some point. Now, if futures, so I mean that's really the bull case. There is you have to keep an eye on DXY exiting volume. That is a very good bull case. That means that we could be hitting a bottom here somewhere, and that perhaps this bull pattern from yesterday actually does play out. Let me go ahead and delete that now, and I'll show you where we could go on that for now. And let me get rid of all of these, as a matter of fact, so that we can just have a clear idea of where we're going to go here, potentially. And, yep, that's that. Okay, so I think on your bull case right now, it almost looks like this could be a W. And tomorrow, if we break up, we could break up from here, because if the futures stay green, yeah, we could come here, we could put in a cup, and then if the handle goes bullish, we can certainly also work our way up here. What the deuce? That is not what I want. Thank you very much. We could work our way up here in a hurry, potentially, to complete this next cup. Okay, so that would require some rip-roaring volume. We would not get that the first part of the day. I can almost guarantee you that, unless the futures are just absolutely exploding. The first part of this will be relatively slow, and then off of this handle, I think you would really see a big explosive move towards the end of the day up here to complete this cup at 406.22. If we continue to see that DXY move, break down to the downside. So there's the bull case, and actually I just want to change that color up for you right now. So that is done. Okay, so what? Seriously, guys. Seriously, what is this? Okay, well, I tell you what I'm going to... Oh, there's some kind of tiny little... Okay, I got you. Really? Really? Are we not? Oh. Yep. That would make sense. All right. Okay, so let's switch this to green right now, and there we are. So there's your bull case for tomorrow. That's your best bull case. I think your best bear case from this point right now is something that would look like this. Like, let's say the futures break down tonight, right? I think you would open with potentially a gap down, maybe almost all the way to the bottom or at bottom, right? So that's a way it could go. Or if you open up basically where you are and not much changes, you put in an M on the way down here, you get a bounce, and then you start to work your way back up, right? And then you climb and climb and climb. So we could be looking for that potentially. Okay, if we do decide to go bullish after we double bottom 3589. So I wouldn't necessarily call that a bear case. I would call that, let's call that just kind of, because if you come up here with this cup and complete this off a W, it might take a while to actually make this move up. There might still be more buy and sell action here and more order blocks before you to actually put in some more moves up that way. Okay, so I think what we ought to do is change that to let's see. Yeah, let's make that purple. So that's kind of our medium case there, I guess you would say, right? And then our combination of bear and bull, right? And then I think our most bearish case tomorrow would obviously be that you do get this starting, you get a gap down, and maybe you put an M reversal in right here tomorrow, and you just go, the dollar explodes to the upside, the DXY, and then from there we hit this fib line, and who knows what. I think we would probably ride it for a bit, and then we're either going to bounce off of that or we're going to fall through. So I think your bear case would probably be like you actually would back test up here on the 38509, and then you just fall through because this market collapses. Now, let's go over that bear case since I've already been over the bull case. Let's go over the most bearish case and why that might happen. I think, the first thing you have to keep in mind is that, again, this volume profile, and I'm leaving this candle out purposely, this is crap. Just like this was crap, 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 right? That's why all this broke down up here. All right, we're back here in this general block where, that's where the buyers and sellers are right now, and there's not a lot of them there. This is looking very, very weak, and it very well could break down tomorrow, and that could be all she wrote. It's very possible. Even with the futures being green right now, I mean, let's be honest, we're not up much, and that could change throughout the evening, especially if we get more news out of China or other places as well during the trading day. The news out of China is not good right now. So that's what I'd look at there. The bear case for the rest of the bear case is fairly obvious, and I think I'll just wrap it up with that, is that you're still on a bearish divergence on the 30-minute. That's carrying over to the other time frames. I don't think we've completed I think we have actually fully completed a bearish divergence on the 4-hour. Yes, we have. I mean, we're in full bearish divergence on the 4-hour. We're in the middle kind of a momentum cycle to the downside that might be slowing down on the 4-hour. It's tough to tell right now. It's possible it's slowing down, but it's not looking great. And then on the daily, we already know what's going on there. It's just it's not looking as good as it could, right? It looks decent, but you've got to. If you just look at the daily, look at why we broke down, right? On the daily, we had rising price, decreasing volume. We've got a big bearish candle here, and I believe on the 30-minute, was that Apple I saw that on, or was it the S&P 500? Yeah, it was the S&P 500, right? We've got this big bearish engulfing candle, and so we're headed to the downside. So I think that for tomorrow, the case I would be looking at would be probably, it's a tough call because this market should break down. This market should break down. We have been weak for a long time. This has all been very weak through here. It really seems to me like it needs to break, but it doesn't have to. That's the thing. So again, we're at this moment in an accumulation zone where, we could see movement to the upside. We could see movement to the downside. Logically speaking, this market should be breaking down because you can't keep going on volume like that. So I would say that my opinion falls within this case right here, which is a medium case for tomorrow. We would continue to flag and then complete this cup right here. Okay? Or it falls within this case right here where we have a total breakdown. It's one of these because I honestly can't see, unless we have massive, you can't make a good bull case, my people, my wolves. You can't make a good bull case until we see volume come in, because these are all essentially, everything is essentially a lagging indicator for the most part. All you can do is look at this and try and interpret it, and it's like, okay, well, where does that tell me where things are going right now? Well, right now, everything says bear, and that's these last two, trading blocks up here towards the top, where they were essentially accumulation zones too, and this was all weak, all very weak. I didn't get truly faked out until this spot right here, and where we had that divergence on the 2-hour as well towards the bull side, and even then, I told you that day, I said, I'm not giving you my opinion because it's a 50-50 right now. But I know, and I'm never going to say it again because I'm done with that. When I'm following the technical analysis no matter what. And I knew all this was garbage up here, and I knew we were coming down. And that's the bottom line. And what I'm telling you right here is that all this is garbage right here, okay? This is garbage. We had a decent open. We did. But the rest, garbage. This is very weak. And, this market can certainly move up on weakness. It's proven that here. It's proven that way back there where we had that rip up on weakness. So you got to stay aware, stay nimble, be ready for whatever. I'll put my charts up, and we'll get those out to all of you in the description box. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being a part of the Wolf Pack. Please go ahead and comment, ask questions, share this. Let me know your thoughts on anything at all. I appreciate all of my Wolf Pack. You're great wolves, and a lot of information you share with me that has been very helpful to me as well. Remember, the whole philosophy here, learn so we can teach, teach so we can learn, period. Okay, I'm not above anybody else. You're a part of the pack, and I need you as much as you need me. So, that's the bear case. That's the bull case. We'll see you next time on The Market Wolf.